Merhaba arkadaşlar, hepiniz IEFT Talks webinarlarına hoş geldiniz. Bugün University of Liverpool'un sunduğu akademik yaz programlarını Malika ve Simon'dan dinliyor olacağız. Lütfen sorularınızı sağ alt köşede Questions bölümünden yönlendirmeyi unutmayın. Yes, Simon, the stage is yours now.
Okay, thank you very much, Zainab. Hi everyone, thanks for joining us today. I appreciate you probably already had a very full day. So I do appreciate you taking the time to come and join us as we talk about the University of Liverpool's International Summer School. So my name is Simon. I'm the Short Courses and Digital Media Officer for the International Summer School. I'll be doing a short presentation about the summer school and what it's all about. And then I will hand over to my colleague Malika Benkala, who's one of our academics on the International Summer School, who she runs one of our 15 credit academic modules, Intercultural Leadership and Business, which I'm sure you're all very excited to hear about. I'm going to set up my presentation now, but first of all, I also want to say thank you to Zainab and the team for, sorry, my mouse is going haywire. I want to say thank you to IEFT for allowing us to come and talk to you today. And I really hope you do enjoy our presentation. I really hope there is something here for you that is interesting and exciting. So bear with me while I get my computer to work. We'll get there eventually. Okay. Right, so we're there. Just before we start, you can ask us questions in the bottom corner. We will answer them all at the end as best we can. So please don't be shy. Ask us whatever you need to ask. There might be things that I miss out in this presentation that you need to know. Totally fine. Please ask us. We'll be more than happy to answer any questions about the course or about the module as well. So yes, this is the University of Liverpool's International Summer School. Now, to start off, in terms of the administrative side of the team, we're a very small team, as you can see. There's only 3 of us. So you've got me at the end there. You have my colleague, Ed Barley, who's the Marketing and International Relations Manager, and our International Summer School Manager, Joan Squires. They both couldn't be here today, but they do send their best wishes. And again, want to reiterate that they're very grateful to see so many of you excited and interested in the International Summer School. But to start, really, I think if I was you, if I was a student and I'd been getting an advertisement about the University of Liverpool's International Summer School, I'd be thinking, what is it that would interest me straight off the bat? And what is the first thing that I would think of whenever I thought of the University of Liverpool? So it's Liverpool. I'd say that's probably the most famous thing about the University of Liverpool's International Summer School. And there's many reasons why people outside of the UK know about Liverpool. For me, as somebody who's lived here almost my whole life, Liverpool is a very vibrant and interesting city. There's so much going on. It's one of the creative hubs in the UK. It's got so much going for it from both culture and history. It's got a fierce, independent spirit. There is something for everybody, whether that's food and drink, whether it's nightlife, whether it's culture, whether it's art, whether it's music, whether it's sport, whatever that might be. And here's just a few examples of some of the things. So we have our Liverpool One shopping centre. We have the beautiful Georgian Quarter that's only 5 minutes from the International Summer School, as well as Sefton Park, which is one of the probably one of the most beautiful spaces in the UK, green spaces in the UK, with the Palm House, as you can see there, which is based right in the middle of it. Here we have an example of some of the vibrant things that happen, music festivals, gigs, nights out. That's another big part of, I guess, Liverpool's allure to so many people in the UK and around the world. But I guess the main reason why you probably know about Liverpool is due to these 2 things: for the Beatles and, of course, Liverpool Football Club. Obviously, they are both a key part of Liverpool's attractiveness and its history, and just why it's so well known. But as I said, there is so much more that Liverpool has, and there is so much to talk about when it comes to Liverpool that I really don't have enough time during this presentation to point it out, but hopefully that's a little bit of an idea. But as well, one of the things that Liverpool's really well known for is that it's in so many films nowadays, whether you realize it or not. As somebody who likes going to the cinema and watching films, it's amazing how many times I sit in the cinema and have to point out, that's Liverpool in that shot. That's Liverpool in that film. So here's one example. We've got the first Captain America film. The first half of the film was basically filmed in Liverpool. As you can see, an example here of Chris Evans as Steve Rogers. And then we've had lots of filming to do with the most recent Harry Potter films. And you might recognize this guy. This is Batman, and his film, which came out, I think, last week in cinemas, was filmed. So much of it was filmed in Liverpool. And one of the big facts when it comes to Liverpool right now is that it is the most filmed place in the UK outside of London. Liverpool does hold a number of titles that are basically, we have the most of something outside of London. So we have the most museums and art galleries outside of London, the most kind of green spaces outside of London. And I think that's something that really stands out in Liverpool's excellence, and Liverpool's what makes Liverpool so special is we really do reach quite high standards across everything that we do. But, you know, moving on, really, it's the main reason why we're here is to talk about the summer school itself. And I guess you've probably heard about summer schools before, or you've considered a summer school before, or maybe you just really have no idea what one is. Maybe you're thinking about what you might want to do for summer. You might be thinking about your career. You might just be thinking about doing something different after 2 years of being at home due to the pandemic. And, you know, they're all definitely valid reasons, and they're definitely good reasons to come and join us today. But for those of you who don't really know what a summer school is, it's basically a short academic and cultural course that's obviously based in the summer outside of a regular term time. Within our summer school, you can earn transferable credits across various different subjects, which we'll go into a little bit more detail in a bit. You can make new friends and connections and networks. You experience life in another country. You're studying abroad. You're getting new cultures, new languages, new experiences that way. You know, you're immersing yourself in local cultures and national cultures outside of your own. You're able to improve your academic skills, as well as developing transferable skills and improving your employability, which is probably a very key thing for you if you're a university student right now, is how do I stand out in a job market where more and more people are going to university every single year. And then really the most important thing is that you're going to another country and you're enjoying yourself. You're going out, you're visiting places, you're making new friends, you're just living life to the full. And I'm pretty sure that must be very important for everyone right now with, you know, the last 2 years of everything that's gone on. I think everybody is probably looking for some kind of normality and something to look forward to. And I think this is a very good thing that combines both the fun aspects as well as tangible academic and professional benefits that come with it. So in terms of how our summer school is set up, there are 3 programs, but really it's 2. So you can join us for the full 6 weeks of the program, so from the 13th of June to the end of July, or you can choose to study for 3 weeks, either in the first block or in the second block. We'll talk more in the later slides about what that will entail in terms of the program itself. In fact, I'm pretty sure that's coming up very soon, as well as fees and all that jazz as we go along. So in terms of how we set up our program, one of the things that we try to put in place is that we want to help students to specialize, you know, speciality, cutting edge, like that's where we want to come from an academic perspective. But we also want to offer you flexibility. So we want to help you develop a course that fits with what you want and what you need going forward. So we provide you with the options that you can develop a program that suits your needs. So for example, you can study 15 credit modules, which are accredited, and you can transfer them. You also have 5 credit modules. And as well, for those of you with a slightly lower English language level, we also have an English communication skills pathway. And then on top of that, you can also choose to study with us on campus or online this year. So hopefully that's quite clear. We have a very flexible offer and we have a very diverse offer. I'm not going to go into too much detail today about the specific modules other than Malika's Intercultural Leadership and Business module. But I will provide you a link at the end of the presentation, which takes you to our module guide and to our website, which will give you more information on the specifics of the program and the modules. So to start with our 15 credit modules, the reason why we offer these is rather than shorter, smaller modules that allow you to sort of mix and match and try new things, these are here to help complement the subject area that you're working in right now. So if you're working in a sort of business and management perspective, in a speciality in that area, then obviously Malika's 15 credit module is going to be very beneficial and will complement what you're already studying. Or if you are looking to move into industry in your future career, this is a module that will complement it, and it will allow you to go more in depth over the course of the 3 weeks. So in that 3 weeks, you would choose one module. So if you one 15 credit module. So if you study with us for the 6 weeks, you can choose 2 15 credit modules, for example. Now, when we talk about the credits being transferable, these 15 credit modules are worth 7.5 ECTS. We will provide any help that we can if you wish to transfer those credits onto any future study that you do or in your current study. We'll do our best to help facilitate that, but obviously it is dependent on the institution that you're at and whether they accept credit transfers. Another thing about these modules is we want to try and give a local and global perspective, and we've tried to underpin more of a Liverpool DNA. So we want to make these modules unique to Liverpool. So they're not things that you can go elsewhere to study. You're only going to get this very specific perspective here in Liverpool. But on the other hand, you can also choose to do 5 credit modules instead. So we have a number of 5 credit modules, which are across all different specialities and academic areas. And this allows students, if they wish, to sort of mix and match choices that they might, so things that they might be interested in, but have never really been able to do them within their current study. So again, we have kind of, if you're studying business and management, you might want to do psychology, you might want to do something to do with sustainable development or something global health related. This allows you to sort of pick and choose to develop something that provides you with different perspectives outside of what you might be studying right now. It's there to complement your current studies, but diversify your current portfolio as well. And these, with every 3-week block, you can study 5 credit modules per 3-week block. So over the 6 weeks, you can study 6 of those modules. So as you can see, that ECTS does build up if you study with us either for 3 weeks or 6 weeks. So you can basically get up to 15 ECTS if you study with us for the 6 weeks. And that's quite a big chunk that can go towards any potential study that you're doing right now. In terms of our sort of entry requirements when it comes to English, we do normally suggest that students have a minimum of a 6.0 IELTS or equivalent, because these are undergraduate modules. They do require a specific level of English. However, if you do apply and you have an IELTS that's between 5 and 6, that doesn't mean that you can't join us on the International Summer School. We have an English communication skills pathway, and it's designed for students who have that IELTS score but want to still experience the International Summer School program and still get those tangible benefits. Now, this program has been specifically designed to provide a practical English language program. So it's all about employability skills. It's all about giving you those tools and those practical transferable skills that will make you more employable in the future. And as I mentioned, you are still on campus with all the other students, and and you are still, still living on accommodations, you still get access to the entire social program. You're just studying a slightly different pathway. And this one is not accredited, but in terms of what you actually get, in terms of practical skills, it's definitely worth your time. It has just as much value as the main ISS program. So then I guess the final thing to sort of talk about out of the three things, we've talked about Liverpool, we've talked a bit about the program. I guess it's to talk about the University of Liverpool. And the University of Liverpool has been going since 1881. It's a very prestigious university in the UK. It's very research focused, but we have something like 40,000 students that study with us every year. We have 6,500 international students from all walks of life. It's like I said, it's prestigious, it's well known, and it has high quality built in. So in terms of looking at somebody who is a graduate of the University of Liverpool, which you will be if you complete your course with us on the International Summer School, we're one of the top 25 UK universities targeted by global graduate employers, not just UK graduate employers. 97% of all of the university's graduates are in employment or further study 6 months after graduation. And we have a global family of 220,000 alumni, of which you will become an alumni of the university if you do join us and complete your course. And I'll talk a bit more about the benefits that come with being an alumni a little bit later on. Again, in terms of some of the awards, Liverpool likes to collect awards, both as a university and as a city. So here's some of our most recent. We've got a winner of What Uni Student Choice Awards, Best Place in Britain to be a Graduate, Kindest and Friendliest UK City. That is definitely something that you ask anybody who comes to Liverpool, or ask anybody in the UK or outside what they think of Liverpool. They will always say Liverpool is a friendly, welcoming city. That's one of the best things about being a Scouser, being from Liverpool, is that our doors are always open, and we're some of the friendliest people you're ever going to come across. Again, 4th friendliest city in the UK, safest city in the UK in 2020 as well. We're a really safe city, really secure. And if you join us on campus, for example, you will be in secure accommodation on the university campus, only 10-minute walk from the city centre. And so you're in really safe hands as well. And here's just a nice glossy representation of that. So we have the university campus over here. I don't know if you can see my camera, but the Victoria Gallery and Museum is the image that you can see behind me here, which is a beautiful building, the centerpiece of the university. It's only a 5-minute walk to the main train station that takes you all over to the UK, takes you to Manchester, London, up to Scotland, wherever you need to go. We've got 2 cathedrals. We've got the beautiful Liver building, the Royal Albert Dock, St. George's Hall, and this doesn't even take into account all of the amazing, cool, interesting, quirky places that you can go and visit. These are just the main attractions, and there's so much more to even discover even past that. In terms of the social program, this is, I think, personally for me, this is just as important as the academic side of things. There's no point in you coming to another country and studying for 6 weeks and not going out and experiencing everything to do with that place and absorbing all of that culture and learning and just living your best life. I think that makes the experience better, and that will make the academic side of things easier and more enjoyable for you. If you join us on campus, for example, we've got welcome meals, evening social events. We've got day trips that take you to historic places all over the UK. We also have a dedicated graduation ceremony where everybody gets to get together. We have certificates and food, and we just, we enjoy ourselves and sort of breathe and relax at the end of the program. And if you join us for our online program, I've not talked too much about that, but, our onlines, we do also have a very comprehensive social program for our online students. We have online talks with specialists in lots of different topics, as well as masterclasses, networking sessions, history and culture, as well as, again, your own online dedicated graduation ceremony, which does come when we send your certificates out, and this will be for both on campus and online. You're going to get a nice picture of your graduation with everybody in it, so that you can frame it, do whatever you want with it, just as a little memento of everything that you've done with us on the International Summer School. And just to give you some examples, I would just show you some happy people, happy friends of all our ex-students over the last few years. We definitely did not pay them to do all of these amazing poses. These are all genuine, happy students who have not posed for these pictures, just to make that clear. Yeah, this is from our these are from our last tour from our 2019 celebration, where we got to go into the middle of the campus on the lovely green space and have a big celebration. It was such an enjoyable time, and that's already nearly 3 years ago, and we're so excited to be able to do it again this year. You know, we were only able to do online last year. We weren't able to run the year before, and just the thought of having so many students back on campus and studying with us, you know, in general, is really exciting. To give you an example of sort of how the nationalities break down, we normally have around 120, 150 students from around 19 or 20 different countries. So, you know, you're getting students from all over the world. We've got students from Asia, Australasia, from America, Latin America, Europe, Africa. We've got from almost every single continent. We will have students from loads of different countries, and seeing everybody get together and bond and, you know, break down those barriers and just join in as this little community of the summer school, it really is amazing. I've already mentioned the accommodation, but it's a 10-minute walk from classes and the city centre. You will be staying in shared flats, which has a shared kitchen and social space, but obviously you get your own ensuite room, good solid Wi-Fi. It's fully equipped, so you don't need to really bring anything. You know, all the sheets, bedding, everything that you're going to need is already there. It's safe and secure, 24-hour reception, and there's even events that happen with the accommodation teams in the accommodation as well. And because you'll be in this, the accommodation that you see in the picture is Crown Place, which is the university's top quality accommodation space. And I've actually stayed in it myself on the 2019 summer school. I was staying with some of our Chinese students who had joined us, and I can tell you, I'm a man of comfort, and that was it was a very comfortable experience being in that accommodation. Obviously, we haven't talked about fees at this point. That's always a stickler for people, and we do appreciate that. You know, price is always going to be something that is important, and it is also a bit of a deal breaker for some people, but it's important that we talk about it. So if you do join us for the 6 weeks, for the tuition fee and including the accommodation, it's about £4,500. As well, if you do sort of the weeks 1 to 3 or 4 to 6, it's about £2,500. If you do study with somebody who is a part at a university that is a partner with us, or we're having discussions with, there is a discount that comes with that. You can see here we have an early bird tuition fee. That's basically the discount that you would get on your tuition if your university is a partner of ours. So it's reasonably significant. If you do look, like, that's about 300 or so pounds if you study with us for the 6 weeks, and that really is all you're going to need for spending money. So it benefits, that is a tangible benefit. You get to experience more of the city and live it more to the full because you have your spending money there. So I certainly, if you are interested in studying with us, I would investigate that with your university and your international office. And then I'm conscious that I'm taking up a little bit of time here, so I'm going to breeze through all of this. If you do join us as an international summer school student, you are a University of Liverpool student. You're not just somebody who's joining for a program and then you go. You are a University of Liverpool student. You're fully registered. You've got a student card. You've got access to the university's amazing sports centre. You get access to the Guild of Students, which has all the student societies and events. You have access to the libraries and computer facilities, welfare facilities. Obviously, you'll be joining us in accommodation if you're studying with us on campus. But I think one of the main benefits, which we've not really touched on too much, is that when you graduate from the ISS, you become an alumni of the university, like me, because I studied at the University of Liverpool as well as working here. And that gives you access to the alumni network, which is, as I said, there's 220,000 people in that alumni network, and you have access to those people through all these different networks and events. You can have continuous access to the online library and journals forever, basically. So you don't need to worry about accessing stuff for research or anything at your own university if you can't access it, because you'll have access to everything with us. The final sort of cherry on top with being an alumni is that if you decide, actually, I kind of like studying at the University of Liverpool, I enjoyed that 3 to 6 weeks I did at the summer school, I want to come back and do my postgraduate. Well, as an ISS alumni, you get access to a postgraduate progression award. That means you would save up to 10% of tuition fees on your postgraduate course, which is about £2,500. So it's really, you know, we've talked about the cost of the ISS, but when you take into account, if you're somebody who's thinking about studying abroad at postgraduate level, that cost, you're making that cost back just by returning and accessing this this scholarship. So, you know, if you study with us for 3 weeks, that's what, £2,500. Then you're saving £2,500 when you come back on your postgraduate. So it's just something to think about. Obviously, I'll provide you with all the links to our website and so on. So don't worry about remembering all of this. We obviously will. I actively encourage you to go and follow up this presentation afterwards and go and see our website. And but yeah, that in terms of like content of the about the summer school and so on, that's about it. Just going to show you a few more nice pictures. We've got Chinatown here, which is the oldest Chinese community in the UK. We have this beautiful gateway which was given to us by our twin city over in China. And it's such a beautiful centerpiece of the city. We always like showing it off. You know, just giving you some idea, Lark Lane's one of the really nice quirky places I was talking about in the city that you can go and discover all the little shops and restaurants. It's a beautiful place to go. And then again, we have Sefton Park, which I mentioned in one of the first slides. There's the Palm House. It's just beautiful foliage. And I mean, look at that. That's absolutely stunning, isn't it? I mean, why wouldn't you want to spend some of your summer sat in the sun with your friends, with some food, with some drinks, and just soaking up that sun? Why wouldn't you? I know I'm going to do it. And then we're back to this frame. You remember this image right at the beginning of the presentation. And this is the Liver building. Again, you probably know this. If you've recently watched the new Batman film, you definitely will recognize this because Batman jumps off it a couple of times in the film itself. And here's our graduation from 2019. So this is half of our students who studied with us last time, and it's been great to catch up with them recently on how they're doing, and they're all doing really well and progressing. It's really positive to see. So yeah, this is any contact. If you want to email us, you can email us. If you want to join us on social media, I post on the social media. So if you want to scan this QR code now, you can follow one of our whichever social media is appropriate to you. If you're interested, I'll put the website and our email in the chat at the end, as well as the link to our social media as well. But from my perspective, I just want to say, oh, my mouse has gone again. Yeah, my mouse has gone again. Just bear with me. Oh no, it's completely gone here. Bear with me. Oh, that presentation was actually going really well until my mouse started to crash. Okay. Sorry about that. Yeah, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to hand over to my colleague Malika, who's going to do a presentation about her module, the Intercultural Leadership and Business, which I'm sure you're all interested to find out about. Thanks very much for listening to me. I appreciate there was a little bit of technical difficulties at both ends. Hopefully I can fix them now, but we'll see how it goes. So without further ado, I will hand over to Malika. I will leave that to you, Malika, while I open this presentation.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. And I think the way to say hello is merhaba. Is that right? So I don't speak Turkish, I'm afraid, but I did try to learn how to say hello. So I hope you're all well. So my name is Malika, and I am one of the academics, as Simon mentioned. I'm going to be running a 15 credit module. And today I've just come to you to tell you a bit about me and a bit about what's in the course, some of the content that's on offer as well. So we do have some slides. Simon, would you like?
Is it not sharing? Sorry, bear with me.
No, it's all right. Sorry. And then we can get started.
Are we good? Are we happy?
We're loading. Yes, we are.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, we're good.
Thank you.
Right.
You can go to the next slide.
Of course.
Fantastic. So today, I'm just going to give you a bit of an introduction on me, as I said. So I'd love it in the chat if you just write a bit about you as well. So what's your name and what you enjoy? Maybe what you're interested about Liverpool, perhaps, about the university or anything Simon mentioned. I'm going to give you a bit of a module overview. You're going to also have a think about what's in it for you as well. So if you are interested in this module, we'll actually do some goal setting at the end, or you can make it generic about the summer school in general. So Simon, if you could go to the next slide. I'll give you a bit of information about me. So you can see there's a much better picture than how I look in real life, but nevertheless, this is me. My name's Malika. I've had anything but a typical career. I started my undergraduate degree in biomedical science, and then I worked in industry for a number of years. So in addition to my academic background, I've also got about a decade of industry experience. So as I said, I did my undergraduate in biomed, and then I decided to give business a whirl, and I did a master's in human resource management, and my PhD is in management as well. So a very different academic path. And in my career, I started off in fast moving consumer goods, FMCG. So in the world of coffee for a number of years. And then I've even set my own business up, and I've been an HR consultant as well. So I've got lots of business experience. So I hope to bring that and some great examples to the module itself. So Simon, if we could go to the next one. The module itself is all around interculturalism and intercultural leadership. And just so you know, interculturalism involves us moving beyond passive acceptance and self-segregation towards promotion of dialogue and interaction between multiple cultures. And this module aims to give you the gift of insight into the notion or idea of culture, leadership itself, and managing difference. And we're going to cover three main areas in that topic. So we're going to cover culture and the leader, interculturalism, which I've just explained a little bit about what that is, and intercultural leadership. So the idea of interaction between multiple cultures, but at a leadership level as well. Thanks. We can go to the next slide. So what's in it for you then? Why would you want to do something like this? So as well as learning about a really interesting topic in a bit more depth than maybe what you used to, you'll also gain confidence in critical thinking, reading and writing, which is a really important life skill. No matter which job route you take, and no matter which subject, critical thinking is something that the World Economic Forum are always putting on the top skills that employers are looking for. You're going to learn more research skills, which is important in any degree. So in addition to immersing yourself in the Liverpool culture and being in another university, you're also going to develop your research skills and also develop your skills in collaboration. Again, an important life skill, but also important for work as well. So I feel that with what's in it for you is not just getting the knowledge of the content, but also development of skills, both professionally and personally as well. Next slide. So the content then. So there's kind of lots of different areas that we'll talk about, but I wanted to just give you a flavour of what type of things we're going to be talking about in the sessions. So we're going to be talking about the notion of culture, what it means. We're going to be looking at bias. There are lots of different types of bias, but we're going to focus on unconscious bias for the purposes of this module. We're going to look at the illusion of inclusion. So this idea of inclusion, what it means, and is it real or is it an illusion? And we're going to look at intercultural leadership as well. Next slide. So in addition to that, we're going to move, as we move through the 3 weeks, to look at intercultural theory. So what does the theory say versus practice? Intercultural communication and interaction. we're going to look at, from looking at what culture is, we're going to then think about adapting to culture and the dynamic aspect of culture. And we're going to look at the ethics and social impact of interculturalism itself. And we're going to look at some examples of intercultural organisations as well as part of that, to bring it to life. So something that's been really important to me in both my academic and career journeys has always been, the theory is great, it's great to learn, but how does this work in practice as well? And that's something that I always bring, is examples of real life scenarios, which we'll look at as some case studies. Next slide, please. So the assessment then, that's normally the first question I get. How are you going to assess us as part of this process? There's two parts to the assessment, and each are equal in weight. So they're worth 50% of the 15 credits overall. So the written assessment is going to be 1,500 words, which might seem like a lot looking at that now, but actually once you get into it and into the topic, what you'll find is that it's actually really difficult just to write only 1,500 words. And also I'll be asking you to write to present a group presentation of around 15 minutes. And this allows you to demonstrate that collaboration as well, and maybe even make some professional or personal friends as part of the process. So they're the two methods of assessment. And the second question I normally get is, well, how will you be marking us? And so the assessment itself, I've broken it down to sort of 3 core areas. So for both your assessment and your presentation, the structure, style and presentation will form 30% of your overall mark. Critical analysis will form 40%. As I've said at the start, a key skill for employers is around critical thinking, reading and writing. So I'm really going to be honing in on assessing this. And then referencing. It's really important to give credit and credibility where it's due and to do that accurately. It's an important skill in the workplace as well. And so referencing forms 30% of this. Now, this is a pass-fail module that you'll still get an overall mark. And I always say to people to aim for gold, go for gold, go for a first, which is 70% or above. So that is how I'm going to actually assess your essays and your assignments and your presentations. Next slide, please. So these are the key texts. If you wanted to have a look, you can feel free to take a screenshot of this. These are the 2 key texts that we will be referring to throughout the module, which if you're really interested in this module, I'd advise you to get hold of a copy and start having a look now. However, what I will say is that we won't be exclusively just using these texts. They're just the foundations for how we've built the module. And so we'll be referring to lots of academic journals, but also practical papers as well, white papers, company examples. So there'll be a plethora, a variety of resources that you'll be accessing throughout this module. And one of the key areas that I try to encourage all my students to do is to promote self-led study. So you going out and doing your own research, and I'll support you with that as well. Next slide, please. So goal setting then. So I'd like us just to take a moment now, if you've got a pen or paper in front of you, or just a way of making notes, you can do it digitally or on paper. I'd like you to think about what's in it for you. So I've given you a bit of a flavour on what the module is, who I am, and also how you'll be assessed on this module. So just think about what's in it for you. So I always talk about SMART objectives, and if you've not heard what that is before, SMART is specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound. And it's just a sentence, how we form a goal to make sure that we'll work to achieve this. And write down up to 3 goals. What is it that you want to get out of a summer school? And thinking beyond Liverpool, because I'm sure a lot of you on this call will have been to hear of many talks from many different universities, and this may or may not be right for you. And so what I always say to people is think about what's in it for you. It's an investment in yourselves. And so by writing these 3 goals down now, hopefully it will start to get you thinking about your future and where you want to go and what you want to do. So I'll just give you a little bit of time to do that. Just a minute to pause. Feel free to share them as well on the chat if you want to. I'll just have a quick look to see if anybody's asked any specific questions while you're doing that.
I'm currently fighting with my cursor here, so I can't.
Oh, it's all right. So feel free to take a screenshot of this page as well, because we are going to move on because I'm conscious of time, but just keep in mind, why is it that you want to do this and what's in it for you? So we can move to the next slide now. And so that just leaves me to say thank you for listening. And if you have got any questions, now is a great time to ask them. You can see we've got some questions in the chat already, so I don't know whether Zaina.
Bear with me, I'm going to stop sharing the screen.
Yes, thank you for your presentation, Malika. We have a couple of questions in the question section. Do you want me to read them to you, or do you want to answer?
I've got them here. I think I've found the system to make my mouse work right now, and it's currently a very complicated two-handed thing to do. But yes, I'll read them out. So, So the first question is from Adar Ahmed Vargun. Hi, Simon. I graduated mechanical engineering last month. Congratulations. I will improve myself in solar power, wind power, hydrogen energy. Very important stuff. I need to improve my English. So my question is, do you have an energy program in the summer school? And second question is, do you have an English language course for the summer? Now, good questions. Thanks very much. Again, congratulations on graduating on your mechanical engineering course. I hope you're very proud of yourself. You should be. In terms of answering your first question, when it comes to energy program, we don't have a specific pathway that is energy focused, but we do have modules which are around sustainable development and revolving around green campuses, green energy, and so on. But it's and working in line with the EU's specific goals on sustainable development and climate. So we do have modules that are focused on that. The 15 credit module that we do for it is online only this year, and that's run by Dr. Adam Manis, who he's a very good academic, and he's very well versed. Very experienced. He's worked with basically everybody when it comes to climate related issues. So that is online, but he does also run a 5 credit version of that module. But I think with your speciality being in this area, that 15 credit module might be more appropriate for you. I've just realized that there's a live answer. I forgot that there's a live answer thing that I can click record on. I will type in the answer to this at the end once once all the questions are answered. But yeah, so the first question is, yes, we do. It's online if you want to do a specialty module, and it's called Sustainable Development Goals. In terms of English language related courses, now the ISS is part of the English Language Centre at the University of Liverpool. We primarily focus on pre-sessional English, so that's for students who are going on to do masters at the University of Liverpool. If you are thinking of postgraduate, that is an option that you can take. However, as I mentioned, we do have an English communication skills pathway available. It's not sort of, I guess, how would I put it? It's not specialty focused English in the regard of like, this is your speciality, so that's where the English program is located. It's more focused around employability, and it's all about practical skills. It's about you getting out into the community, meeting people, and being able to learn and just experience being there and learning from businesses who are quite cutting edge when it comes to employability and so on. That's a big part of that. I will give you a link to the English communication skills in particular. You would still get access to the entirety of the rest of the summer school program in terms of the social program, being on campus, all of the events and so on. But you would be doing a non-accredited English language program. So I hope that answers your question. I will type this in at the end so you can look back at it, and I will do live answers for everybody if my mouse is going to pay attention to me. So the next one is Sigdem Riyadh. And hello, do you offer any credit courses for architecture students? So, hi, Sigdem. So in terms of architecture related, we do not have any well, actually, we do. And we do have a couple of architecture focused modules, but it's more about architectural history of Liverpool. Liverpool is a very historical city, and there's lots of beautiful architecture from the big things, such as the two cathedrals that we've got, to the liver buildings. But then if you walk through the city centre or anywhere in the city, you will see that architectural history everywhere. So we do have a couple of modules which are 5 credit modules specifically on that. In terms of, I already mentioned that we do have sustainable development focused modules. The 5 credit version of one of those is about global green campuses. So that is focused around green architecture. So that would be probably relevant for you. And these are all accredited modules as well. What I would recommend is that I will put in the chat at the end, and in the response to your question, I'll put a link to our module guide, which has information on all the modules that we're offering this year. And I do think there is definitely, if not, there are direct modules that would be appropriate for you, but there are also modules which are very complementary for architecture students if they are looking to complement the studies that they're currently doing. So thanks very much for your question. It's a good question. Hopefully I have answered it. Oh, I like that. I like that live chat thing, that live thing. Okay, so the next question. Sorry, Malika, these are all general questions at the moment. Hopefully we've got a couple for you coming up. So the next one is from Mehmet Akif Durmus. Hello, what are the tuition fees and minimum IELTS score? Okay, so in terms of the tuition fees, for the 6 weeks, I don't know if I can actually answer this one live or if it's being a bit difficult with me. No, it's not. It's not letting me do that. Somebody, I think. Oh, that's what. Sorry, I get it now. Zainab has answered the question in English, which is why I can't do a live one. So, Mehmet, if you're still here, the tuition fees are for the 6 weeks. It's around £4,500. And for this 3 weeks, it's just short of £2,500. But that includes your accommodation and the course, as well as all of the trips that we have organised, and the welcome meals and so on. That's all included as well. So you do get quite a lot considering the price. And I do appreciate that is, after 2 years of a pandemic, price sensitivity is important. It's important that you get the most value you can if you are going to invest. And talking about investment, that's exactly what Malika said at the end of her presentation. You've got to consider it less on the financial aspect of it, but more what value that has in terms of investing in you. And if you feel that outweighs the cost, then it's worth doing. So that's always what I would say. And in terms of minimum IELTS score, if you want to study on the main ISS program, that you need an IELTS equivalent of 6.0 or above. Now, you don't have to have an IELTS certificate or an equivalent certificate. When you apply, you can say you don't have one, and we will send you an online test to do that will accurately depict your score. So you don't need to worry about getting any certificates or anything or paying for that. We will help you if you do apply. You just have to let us know and we'll sort that out for you. If you do not have a 6, but you have between a 5 and a 6, you can still access the ISS course, but you wouldn't be able to access the accredited module. You'd only be able to access our English communication skills pathway. But in terms of, as I've already mentioned, the employability focus of that module makes it incredibly valuable for anybody who is thinking about their future career or thinking of working, not even just working abroad, working at home. They're really valuable skills, and English is obviously a very important language to know in any workplace around the world now, where whereas everyone is within the touch of a button at all times. So having a high level in other languages is absolutely key. I've studied languages at university, so I can speak Spanish and French. So you realize how much it actually opens the door to the rest of the world when you can speak other languages. But the fact that you're here and watching this means you already know this. So hopefully that answers your question. Next one is from Mete. Oh no, it's another live answer. Okay. So, hi, thank you for this great presentation. My question is there any way I can get a scholarship for the summer school or a full semester as an international medicine student? So in terms of scholarships, unfortunately, we don't have anything that would constitute a full scholarship at this point. As I mentioned, there is discounts that you can access if your university is a partner of either the summer school or of the university in general. If your university is a study abroad partner, there is potentially access to free places, but I'm unsure if any Turkish university is on that list at the moment. But it is something that if you are looking to study with us, I would speak to your international team or your study abroad team at your university. And if they're not a partner of us or we're not talking to them, we are talking to a few universities at this point. If they're not, give them our details and say, you know, I'm interested in joining this program, but you need to be a partner and it gets us a discount. Great. You know, we're more than happy to have these discussions. We did have, I'm not sure what university you study at the moment, but we were at a conference last week with a number of Turkish universities who we are setting up calls with over the next couple of weeks. You might get lucky. We might be talking to your university, but if not, you know, please send them more information and we can have a chat with them. At the very least, there are discounts available of up to sort of £300, which is quite significant spending money if you're only going to be here for 3 to 6 weeks, because we're not in a very expensive city. It's really cheap to live here. In terms of full semester, again, I would refer you back to your international team at your university to see if there is access to study abroad mobility to the University of Liverpool, because we do have semester and full year study abroad. But that is not something that we handle within our team. So thanks very much for your question. Hopefully that was a good enough answers for you. Sigdem, you're very welcome. Hopefully I answered your question there. So thanks very much for saying thank you. Okay, it's Adar again. Sorry, you've got no questions, Malika. I'm really sorry. What that means is you've done an incredible presentation, though. That's what it is. No one has questions because it was just so spot on. Adar, I have to research for the sustainable energy about I need to improve the English. Yeah, so the professional English courses. Do you have an English course at Liverpool University without summer? So yes. So yes, we do have, like I said, we do have English courses, but they are specifically linked to you applying for a postgraduate course at the University of Liverpool. In the past, our team used to handle short courses that were not linked to academic study, but that ended in early 2020, and it doesn't look as though it's coming back anytime soon. If you are thinking of postgraduate study at the University of Liverpool or even postgraduate study in the UK, we do have pre-sessional English courses that you can access, which are various lengths from 6 weeks up to 40 weeks, depending on what is determined you need in order to sort of access the correct IELTS level. Again, I will leave you a little thing at the end, providing that my mouse works, because right now it's really not working. But I'll leave a little link for you to have a look at. But there are also English courses in Liverpool which are not linked to the University of Liverpool, and which are sort of not linked to academic study. Obviously, I'm not allowed to promote them in any way, shape, or form, because that would kind of go against why we're here. But I can tell you, if you are looking to come to Liverpool and study English and you can't access the summer school or any of the university's courses, there are private operators that work within the city, and they're very, very good. Thank you very much. Okay. And another thanks from Adar there. So I think that's all of the questions. Let me just have a go into the chat. Let me just double check. Yeah, I did say hello at the beginning, but I just, again, hello to everybody who's joined and left a little comment there. Appreciate it. Yes, I guess, is there anything that you'd like to add, Malika, before we go, or are you happy?
No, just thank you very much, everybody, and thanks for listening as well. It's been a pleasure. And thanks for all your questions and interactions.
Yeah, I'll reiterate that. Like, really do appreciate you taking time out of your day, especially after you've probably had a full day of lessons already and you've come to join us. So thank you very much. Hopefully we do hear from some of you in the very near future, either with a question to our email or even an application would be brilliant. But don't hesitate to contact us if you do want to actually get in touch outside of this platform and you don't want to do it by email. We will also set up Zoom calls with you, private Zoom calls, one-to-one with one of the team. So we're more than happy to chat with you about the program and more specific, anything that you really want to talk about in terms of the city, university, the program, specific modules. You know, we're more than happy to do that. But I guess from me, it's again, thanks very much. Thank you very much to Zeynep and IEFT for having us. And we hope you enjoy the rest of your week. And yeah, thank you very much.
Yes, thank you very much for the great presentation, Simon and Malika. It was really informative for the attendees, and you covered all of the questions. Thank you for your answers too. Also, could you please share an email address on the chat box so that the participants can directly contact if they have further questions?
Yes, I will do that now.
Also, I would like to thank the participants in Turkish as well. Katıldığınız için teşekkür ederiz arkadaşlar. Umarım sizin için de faydalı bir webinar olmuştur. University of Liverpool ile ilgili diğer sorularınız için chat kısmında paylaşılan mail adresinden Simon'a ve Melika'ya ulaşabilirsiniz. Bir sonraki webinarlarımızda görüşmek üzere. So, are you able to put it on the chat box, Simon?
Yeah, I'm just doing it now, sorry. Yeah, so I'm just pointing a link. It's got our website, our email address, and our social media accounts as well. Hopefully we'll see one of you either speak to you by email or on our social media. That's just come through now, but again, yeah, there you go.
Yes, thank you very much again. It was a pleasure to have you in IEFT Talks.
Thank you very much. Goodbye, everyone. Have a nice week.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.